I think I may have bitten off more than I can chew. I've agreed to paint this model as part of a huge giveaway on the channel, and I will paint it, but I have no idea where to start. Welcome back, team. My name is Mike, and this is Flashing Badger Painting. Now, big centerpiece models like this one here have a lot going on. So much so that I think they could be quite intimidating for those of us in the hobby, and to the point where a lot of us probably don't ever treat ourselves to picking one up and giving them a go. But this week, I'm going to find a way, and I'm going to take you along for the ride with me, so that by the end of this video, you and I, regardless of our skill level, will have what it takes to be able to paint a big centerpiece model. Now someone cue the music, because I want to get started. Flashing Badger. I'll tell you a little about why I'm painting this particular model and who it is for as we go, but take a look at the size of the box and just how many fragile and tricky to paint pieces are going on here. I realise that I've been happily painting for the better part of a decade, but I've just been staying in my comfort zone. My shelves are full of much smaller and simpler models. I mean, look at the size of the base for this thing, it looks like a frisbee. A few hundred of you helped me to get started by jumping onto the live stream, and you each encouraged me to stop stalling and just begin clipping and gluing together the first pieces. That was a really cool hobby hangout, by the way, and let's do it again soon. Models like this, I believe, are intimidating for a number of reasons. When we pick up the box, we are looking at the end result, which is effectively a number of models mushed together, showing a final display. And I'm looking at probably 50 to 100 hours of this artist's time that has gone into it. That alone has always been enough to scare me off. Add into that the fact that this model looks very fragile and there's some really hard to reach places, and if I was looking for a way out, well, I've probably just given myself half a dozen excuses. So I have some ideas on how to make this achievable. For starters, I'm allocating a total of 1 week to paint the model from start to finish. I'm on a self-imposed deadline with making these videos, but I've discovered by having a line in the sand that I need to stick to, this will push me in the direction of completing the model. And the second part is that I need to stop thinking of this as one daunting model, because it's not. It's a couple of very achievable models on a large thematic base. So really, this is 3 or 4 projects just rolled into one. Part of me even considered breaking this into 3 or 4 videos, but as much as I'd love to do that, I have to stick to my other commitments as well, because there's some more people out there that I'm really keen to paint models for. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad segue at all to explain to you what I'm painting and why. It's almost like I scripted it. Over a year ago, we all bundled ourselves together and created the Flashing Badger Discord as a happy and healthy place to hang out and support one another in the hobby. My shelves are full of all the models I could ever want, so I'm excited to paint gifts for other people. Then the channel became more popular and lovely hobby sponsors wanted to get involved. So we had a light bulb moment and the idea came to host a non-competitive painting competition. Wait. How can you call it non-competitive and also a competition? That doesn't make any sense, because the winner is chosen at random, and included in their bundle of prizes is the bonus of picking out a model, and I will buy it, paint it, and post it across the world to them for them to have and hang on to as a little channel memento. Tim was our December winner, and I think the 7th winner we've had so far. Tim is amazing, and you'll catch him in the Discord offering painting advice and also showering people with praise on their work. Tim picked out this Warhammer Age of Sigmar fantasy model of Alarielle the Everqueen. I'm not great with fantasy, but I'm told that she is the ruler of the High Elves and a Mother Nature style of priestess, and this is exactly what Tim is hoping I will capture with the model. Tim lives in a beautiful part of the world where the locals feel a strong connection to the land, and this forms a large part of their identity. That's important to Tim, so now it's important to me with this model. I did mention prizes though. Can I take a minute just to show off all of the amazing prizes that are headed in Tim's direction? This also doubles as a cheeky way of saying thank you to each of the channel sponsors that were really excited to take part. Proxy Wargaming sponsored this whole series, and in December they were kind enough to share the spotlight to make a huge end of year celebration. They are an Australian company who offer a wide range of models that you can proxy into your favourite game systems. And some of those game systems are no longer supported by their developers. Sci-fi, fantasy, fantasy football, small scale, gothic spaceships, you name it. Oh, and I discovered them because they offer an affordable 3D printing service. Thank you to Mark and the team, and they are sending Tim a whole host of Dwarven fantasy minis to join your collection. The Army Painter gives so much to the hobby community already, but they jumped at the opportunity and have sent Tim a paint set and an extra large wet palette. I use their paints in my videos and you'll see the little icons popping up in the corners. Models, paints, sounds like you'll need some brushes. Rosemary & Co have selected some of their finest brushes to suit our mini painting, and you guessed it, these are the same type of brushes that feature in each of my videos. The team at Gallery threw in 2 airbrushes, which you've already re-gifted locally because you're an amazing individual. And the Trade Tinker create handmade bespoke dice trays. I was so jealous that I had to buy a couple for myself as well. All those prizes are on their way to you, Tim. And for anyone else watching, if the hobby Discord sounds like a friendly atmosphere that you'd like to hang out in, you can find your invite link in the video description below. Now we arrive at the Queen herself. Normally we associate elves with having very pale skin, but Tim has requested that her skin be darker, and that suits me because I'm picturing very soft greens and blues, and I think we would lose sight of her a little if she was a shade of white. You can see how there are a lot of hard to reach places on a model like this, and that provides a challenge for me, because if I'm painting in my regular style of opaque acrylics like I have for the skin, I know I'll get frustrated making mistakes, and I think this will actually make a great opportunity to show off contrast and speed paints to our beginner painters. These are semi-transparent paints that are best suited to a model with fine detail, fur or feathered wings like our Queen has. My favourite thing to do is to wet blend different colours. So I grab a variety and I line them up on my wet palette, and then I begin with my first base coat of the blue here. Now before it's had a chance to dry, bam! I've loaded up my brush with the next green colour, and I'm pushing them together at that connection point on the model, and whilst they're still wet, I'm creating that blend. I've done so well with sticking to my deadline, but with just over 1 day remaining, I need to finish up the Queen and shift my focus to the model's base, and a cool idea that I think I have to tie it all together at the end. Also, Tim's partner Zully, I hope you are liking everything so far, because I have a sneaky suspicion that you are the inspiration behind Tim selecting this model. A base this size that can look pretty in a day? I think I have an idea. Maybe. The story that I want to tell is that the Elven Queen has a deep-rooted connection to the land, spiritually, through magic. But more than just this, it needs to be that she understands that all life is connected and she is able to harness that. This will lend to a really simple base. Hear me out. In fact, let's go one better. You can watch exactly how I go about making the base, and while I do that, I'm going to tell you about something completely different. Yes, the magic of editing. By the time this video is uploaded and released, my friends and I will be 4 episodes deep into our podcast. What? A podcast? Yep, that's right. The Flashing Badger podcast exists, and I'll be honest, I think you're going to love it. It's not mini painting, but it's pretty close. Gordon is our amazing host and game master as he guides Fitz, Wegs and myself on role-playing games that journey across all different game systems with different themes, from sci-fi to fantasy to Cthulhu to street racing raccoons. Yep, you heard me correctly. After this video, it would mean the world to me if you could jump across and check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you go to listen to your favourite pods. A wise man once said there are few certainties in life other than death, taxes, and the Flashing Badger podcast will 100% get a whole bunch of laughter out of you. And of course, there is a Warhammer 40,000 RPG waiting there for you. Please, I know my target market. This isn't my first time on the algorithm rodeo. Where are we up to on the model? Aha, the final stages. And this part I'm pretty excited for. I want to try and capture the connection that our Queen has to this creature and to the land, which should also tie our whole model together. I had already base coated some of the leaves, mushrooms and extra pieces of flora that are stuck to our beetle with a bright white, and now I'm jumping across to the airbrush to spray a white ink over the top. The purpose here will be that the cast off area you can see for me. Soon this should act like a glow for us. My thinking is that Queen Alarielle's true power is showcased through her understanding of the connections that all life forms have. Whether they be small as the bushes and shrubbery she passes, or as grand and magnificent as Birdie the Beetle here. Channeling all of them together can yield her considerable power, and I picture that as she traverses the land, this aura of glowing vegetation follows her and then trails off into a dimly glowing wake. I've selected a semi-transparent bright green ink that I'm spraying over the top of all of my bright white areas. My theory being that this will hopefully give us an earthly bright glow. I switch over to the brush quickly to reintroduce the bright white ink into some of the recessed areas, but I'll level with you, I can't take it any longer. Let's check out how Alarielle the Everqueen, on a budget of 7 days, has turned out.
I know for sure that I'll always be yours. We could be spending time chasing nights, cruise the one until we see the sunrise. Hit my line, we align. Every night with you's the time of my life. Baby, don't feel no.
I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. Now, if I had a month, 2 months, or even a year to paint this model, then of course it would look different. But not all of us will always have this amount of time that we can invest in it. So I hope this video gave you the confidence to tackle a centerpiece model project like this and know that it can still turn out really cool. Let me know in the comments what your dream centerpiece model is and why. If you've made it here all the way to the end of the video, well, that's because you're amazing. But it also means that you might like our podcast and you might like to hang out in our hobby Discord. And speaking of the Discord, what I have for you now is photos of each of our entrance completed models, and a lot of them have their social media handles to share with you as well. So if you see something you like, you can follow their painting journey. My name is Mike, this is Flashing Badger, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Now get out of here.